Animation didn't start with Disney, it started with human curiosity. And honestly, the less you know, the more fun it gets. Let's see how our seniors kept inventing new ways to torture their artists. Create moving pictures. Before film, animation was basically a fancy trick. Show a drum with pictures or flip pages really fast, and voila, you have got moving stick figures. First, in 1833, William Horner invented the zoetrope because he was probably bored of staring at walls. 1868, the flipbook came next, patented by a John Barnes Lett. He created something that kids could slowly destroy with their fingers. In the 1800s, celluloid arrived, and suddenly films could move on their own without any human flipping, which in 1898 J. Stuart Blackton and Albert Smith tried stop motion for the first time with circus toys he stole from his daughter. Sadly, most of it is lost forever because apparently people back then didn't know how to keep their classics. People were fascinated, often treating these as curiosities or spectacles at fairs. The fire was ignited and magic was entering our lives. In the early 1900s, someone thought, what if we squish clay and take hundreds of pictures? 1908, Edison Manufacturing gave it a shot, and although moving clay is exhausting, it opened the door to storytelling in miniature. Meanwhile, another masochist by the name of Emil Cole tried what we call hand-drawn animation, his phantasmagoria, because apparently someone wanted stick figures to have more existential crisis. Then, in 1915, Max Fleischer invented rotoscoping, basically tracing over pre-captured humans, so animated characters could finally dance without looking like drunk toddlers. 1927, Mickey Mouse could finally speak and bend like a noodle thanks to rubber hose animation. 1928, then came synchronized sound with Steamboat Willie because animators realized music could hit harder than the punches in the cartoons. 1930, still animation and color followed, letting artists hand paint every frame. Because what's easier than painting thousands of images by hand? 1937. Finally, Disney dared to make Snow White, showing that cartoons could tell emotional stories that made adults cry in the cinema. Bonus points? It influenced cartoons worldwide and let studios compete for who could make the most adorable deaths on screen. It was a wildfire, but that was still the start of it all. CGI started small, like in 1958, Alfred Hitchcock layering computer patterns in Vertigo. Not exactly Pixar, but proof that computers could finally torment animators digitally. Meanwhile, Japan was creating anime. Think Astro Boy 1963, because apparently humans needed robot children with big eyes to teach morals while selling toys. These styles induced efficiency, stylized storytelling, and the idea that visuals could be both dramatic and economical. Society embraced television. The US exported cartoons, Japan exported anime, and early CGI impressed tech savvy cinephiles. Studios realized animation wasn't just for kids, it was for anyone who could tolerate blinking robot eyes. In 1986, all kicked off with Pixar's Luke So Jr., a laugh that somehow became more expressive than most live actors. Pixar wasn't just making cute shorts, they were flexing their new toy, computer graphics, which would soon eat Hollywood alive. In 1991 came Terminator 2, the T-1000, a liquid metal nightmare that made every other villain look like a tin can, and Jurassic Park in 1993. That's when CGI dinosaurs convinced audiences they were real. Spielberg basically redefined fear and animation budgets. 1995's Toy Story was the first fully CGI feature, proof that computers could make you cry over a jealous cowboy. Pixar raised the bar so high, everyone else just made sequels. But that wasn't the end of it. By 1999, Star Wars The Phantom Menace gave us digital armies. Millions of clone troopers marching on screens, all created by code. The era of keyboards and caffeine had truly begun. CGI got fairer, literally. 2001's Monsters Inc. and 2006's Ice Age gave us half as certified shampoo hats. And in 2004, the Polar Express came chugging in with performance capture. Tom Hanks acting as everyone because apparently he could. And Avatar 2009 said, "You like motion capture? Let's make it blue and 9 feet tall." The result? CGI that could outact humans. The CGI artists in the 3D animation department weren't done with their sanity yet. Stop motion studios like Leica joined the tech arms race with 3D printed faces in Paranormal in 2012 because apparently nothing says handmade like 32,000 printed smiles. Then in 2019, The Mandalorian said goodbye to green screens. LED walls became the new frontier. Directors could finally see what their movies looked like before post-production ruined it. Meanwhile, real-time rendering engines like Unreal Engine 4 released 2014 and Unity 5 released 2015 changed everything. No more waiting hours per frame. Animators could suffer and fix things in real time. Then came the machines. AI tools like Runaway 2020 and Cascade 2021 started helping animators pose, render, even create entire scenes. Some cheered, others panicked. AI stealing our jobs, they cried, while secretly using it to meet deadlines. And by 2025, every pipeline's connected. AI, 3D, real-time virtual production. Basically, animation has become self-aware and probably judging your work already. If the 1900s were about movement and the 2000s were about emotion, then the 2020s are about evolution, where technology and imagination merge. So that's the story. Each era borrowed ideas, tortured its artists, and made animation more sophisticated.